Hey everybody, how's it going? So today what I want to do is read an article on something that happened to Apple and Quanta and tie it back into right to repair. So a common question that I get is, what is this right to repair? Why do you need a right to repair? I mean, you have a dozen employees already. You say that you're not able to fix the products, yet you have a playlist on your own YouTube channel with over 600 videos that show people how to do the very exact work that you do. Time and time again, you demonstrate that not only do you have the right, but you have the ability to repair the products that you work on. So I don't understand what the problem is. And that's a very excellent question, because if you're outside this field, then it probably seems silly that we're advocating for something called right to repair while we are repair shops. And it makes it seem somewhat shady. Like, why are you asking for this? What are you really asking for if you seem to already have what it is you're looking for, which is the ability to do these repairs? And in these videos, you'll see that I repair devices with documentation that I can't tell you where I got, using chips that I often can't tell you where I got. And I wanted to, just kind of give you an idea of where this stuff winds up coming from. So let's just take this video. This is about 5 years old. I had considerably more black colored hair when I made this video and probably less wrinkles in my forehead. And you can see that I've got a little document here that shows me where, how the machine is put together, where stuff is in the board, and I use this to try and teach the audience how I go about troubleshooting a machine that's missing PM sleep S4L. It's a signal that's necessary to wake the machine up, and I refer to the schematic then and usually around the end of the video when showing you, the conclusion as to why what I did fixed the product. Now, where do those come from? That's an excellent question. That ties me into this news article. Here it says Apple targeted a 50 million ransomware hack of supplier Quanta. As Apple was revealing its newest line of iPads and flashy new iMacs on Tuesday, one of its primary suppliers was enduring a ransomware attack from a Russian operator claiming to have stolen blueprints of the U.S. company's latest products. The ransomware group Revel, also known as Sodanikibi, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, published a blog on its dark website early on Tuesday, in which it claimed to have infiltrated the computer network of Quanta Computer. The Taiwan-based company is a key supplier to Apple, manufacturing mostly MacBooks. It similarly produces goods for the likes of HP Inc., Facebook Inc., and Alphabet Inc.'s Google. Revel's public face in the dark web, a user of the cybercrime forum XSS who goes by the name Unknown, announced on Sunday that the ransomware group is on the cusp of declaring its largest attack ever, in a post revealed by Bloomberg News. The post was made in Russian on a channel where the Revel group recruits new affiliates, according to a person familiar with Unknown's history on the XSS forum who sought anonymity for fear of retaliation. By early on April 20th, Revel's Happy Blog, a site where the cartel publicly names and shames victims in hopes of coaxing ransom payments, declared Quanta its latest victim. In their post, also reviewed by Bloomberg, the hackers claimed they had waited to disclose the Quanta compromise until the date of Apple's latest big reveal, contending the part supplier had expressed no interest in paying to recover the stolen data. Quanta acknowledged an attack without explaining if or how much of its data was stolen. Quanta's computer information security team has worked with external IT experts in response to cyber attacks on a number of Quanta servers. And the article continues. It says Revel had posted schematics for a new laptop, including 15 images detailing the guts of what appears to be a MacBook designed as recently as March 2021, according to the documents revealed by Bloomberg. Revel is now attempting to shake down Apple in an effort to profit off the stolen data. They've asked Apple to pay a ransom by May 1st, as was reported by Bleeping Computer. Until then, the hackers will continue to post new files every day, Revel said in its blog. An Apple spokesperson declined to comment on questions about the compromise. And then they start talking about what ransomware is. They start discussing about how their security and blah, blah, blah. They're in negotiations on this. A user responded 2 days later stating they were not the person in charge of the company, but wanted clarity on terms of engagement. And, this is interesting. And I hope that this gives people a little bit more insight into the ridiculous, asinine, what's the word I'm looking for? Supply chain that gets me that piece of paper that I need to do my job. So in order to be able to fix boards in a manner where it's economically viable for a shop like mine to do it without being a multi-billion-dollar firm, this is one of the things that I'm going to need. And the way that I get access to this is on some shady Russian or Romanian or Asian FTP server somewhere. You give money to get membership to a site. You pray that they weren't just ripping you off, and then you log in and you download schematics that came from God knows where. And this is probably one of the places that they get their schematics from. Someone leaks them, or it gets hacked, or this, that, or the other. A lot of people have this idea that the repair industry is just, oh, I want to fix this. Let me email the company. Let me purchase the schematic. Let me purchase the chip from the chip company that makes the charging chip. When in reality, this entire industry is very much so like Nicolas Cage in Lord of War when it comes to the supply chain. When I am ordering something as basic as a screen to a computer, I'm talking to a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who, if I wire money at this date and time, may send me something that I want. And it's a ridiculous way to do business. It's very similar to what it was like trying to purchase weed in my high school. I didn't smoke weed. I haven't smoked weed. I typically, I used to prefer drinking than any of that. But if you wanted to buy weed in my high school, what you did is you went to the bathroom during period 4 lunch. You would go to the last stall. You would say the magic words, and then you'd come back 5 minutes later. And in the first stall, there would be your weed, just nicely packaged for you. It was a protocol. It was a system. And again, I'm not even going to get into the argument as to whether or not people should or shouldn't smoke weed or any of that shit. But if someone were to say, hey, it looks like you're able to purchase weed, there's no problem, well, this is the supply chain. This is the crap that we deal with in order to get the stuff. Now, I don't want someone to hack Quanta. I don't want someone to hack Apple. I'm not okay with these things happening. That's not the way I wish to do business. That's not the way that any of us in this industry wish to get access to our parts or schematics or diagrams. I would like nothing more than to be able to pay Apple a subscription fee, and then each year I'm able to get access to the schematics or the diagrams or tools I need to do my job. I'm more than happy to pay for it, and I'm more than happy to pay for it legitimately. But the way it works right now is that we have to wait for some black swan event to occur before we get it. So someone may show up with a product and say, I want you to fix it. And can you fix it? I have to say I don't know. Why don't I know? Because I don't know what is wrong with it, and I need to know what is wrong with it to know if I can get the part that is necessary. So if you have, let's say, I don't know, if you have a machine that's closer to 2018 or 19, and it has an ISL 9240 chip, but it uses a CD3215 for charging, for USB-C, and it's not charging. Can you fix it? I don't know. Is it the ISL 9240 that's dead? Can't fix it. Is it the CD3215 that's dead? Can fix it. And it's really weird to tell customers this and explain it to them. It's very strange when people ask me, why are you unsure if you can fix my product? And I have to say, because I don't know if I can or cannot get parts of this specific model. And they go, well, why don't you know? And it's like, again, I always refer back to this. I tell them, have you ever seen Lord of War? Because this very much so is what it is like to try to get parts to these devices or to get schematics to them. So I used to run a supply company. It failed. I ran it from 2010, and I finished running it into the ground around 2013. And what we did is we did wholesale supply of rare, difficult-to-find LCDs. I wasn't trying to sell every single LCD. Eventually, I did try to do that, and that's why it failed. I opened it up with the specific idea of I want to find hard-to-find screens, hard-to-find parts to specific machines where there is demand for them. And the relationships that I would make, I'm not going to describe all the ins and outs of what went into it for confidentiality reasons, but if you watch the movie Lord of War, it's very similar to the movie Lord of War. And what you see at the end of the day is a Craigslist ad or a Google or a Facebook ad where somebody says, hey, I can fix your product. And you see the good reviews, and then you get it fixed and it works, or you get it fixed and it doesn't work because the repair shop sucks and they did a poor job. So that's all you see. Like they bought it or they didn't, and they did their job, or they bought a crap part and didn't do their job. But what most people don't understand is that there is an entire Lord of War Nicolas Cage system going on behind the scenes simply so that we can do our jobs. And what we are advocating for is to be legitimized as an industry so that we don't have to do that anymore. I don't want to deal with this ridiculous asinine backwards system where I'm going to some random Romanian, Russian, Chinese website and wiring them money or something so that I can get access to a PDF and a board view file that allows me to do my job. Wherefore, that's not the way I want to do business. I have a business. I have a license. I pay taxes. I have employees. I have insurance. I do everything by the book, and I do it legitimately. And I would much rather, even if it cost more money to do so, just go to the manufacturer and pay them to be able to access these documents that are getting released. And these documents that are getting released, it's very important you keep in mind is that if you were authorized by the manufacturer, if you were to become an authorized Dell Repair Center, you're going to become an authorized Apple Repair Center, you're going to become an authorized Razer Repair Center, you're not going to get motherboard schematics. They're not going to give you any of these documents. You're still going to have to go through this ridiculous system in order to get access to any of these things. So I just thought that when this came up in the news, it may be worthwhile to highlight that, sadly, as much as I don't like and I'm not endorsing people hacking companies and releasing personal data, breaching their systems, and and then blackmailing them, I think this is immoral and wrong, and I do not advocate for it. I think it's important to highlight the fact that, sadly, stuff like this happening is one of the only reasons that we're able to do our job. So what we're advocating for with Right to Repair is, why can't we just go back to the old days where the repair shops were able to just buy this stuff from the manufacturer so that we didn't have to do this stupid cat and mouse game? Because at the end of the day, just like when they kind of come up with piracy protections and they get broken, or someone comes out with DRM and then it gets broken, it's this constant cat and mouse game that genuinely never winds up being won. But the win in the end, as you could see with services, whether it's like iTunes or Netflix, it's not increasingly stronger DRM. It's give people what they want. So what do people want? What do people want back in 2004 or 2005? I have my Cohen A2 portable media player. I remember buying that thing after I saved up my money from Odell Sporting Goods. And you wanted to be able to purchase a television show or a movie and then be able to watch it at home or be able to watch it on the go. I want to be able to watch it on my portable media player while I'm on the bus on the way to work. Well, too bad you can't do that because you're not allowed to rip a DVD. And there's no way for you to buy that movie online. There's no way for you to buy that TV episode back in 2004 or 2005. So then you have companies that just came out with ways that you could do it. There are so many platforms now where I could just tap a button on my phone. I could watch the TV show or the movie on my phone. Then I could watch it on my computer. Then I could watch it on my TV. And it works. There was, interest in certain types of piracy I've noticed have gone down because admit it wasn't even about making it free. It was about just giving people what they want in the manner that they wanted it. And at the end of the day, one of the things you may notice is that if you go through this video or this playlist, is that all of the work that has been done to keep me from being able to do my job, it hasn't stopped me from being able to do my job. It makes it riskier to be in this business. For sure, it makes it riskier to be in this business. It makes it more difficult to plan, and it makes it more difficult to justify putting further investment into it. But it doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. I'm eventually going to do all the things I'm doing anyway. It's just, how hard do you want to make it for me? How hard do you want to make it for me to provide a good experience to the customer? And at the end of the day, I think it's very important that consumers understand that even if you see a legitimate computer repair shop with a legitimate license that pays their employees on the books, that pays their taxes, that pays their insurance, that does everything legitimately, that in order for them to get access to some of the very basics they need to do their job, absolutely Nicolas Cage, Lord of War, in the background. Anyway, I've probably repeated myself about 20 times at this point, so I'm going to be out of here. That's it for today. As always, I hope you learned something. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and BlackBerry also says thank you as well. Also, the Right to Repair GoFundMe at this point appears to be up to $413,000 plus the $100,000 that one individual wired. Over the course of the next week, I'm going to be looking into cryptocurrency acceptance so that before the whole crypto bubble pops, if anybody wants to give, that they'll be able to donate that way. I have been talking with people about some of the plans that we have here. Again, if we raise enough to be able to do direct ballot, we'll go for direct ballot. If we don't, then we'll go for normal laws. I'm gonna probably use the Random Live channel. I have another channel on YouTube that I'll link to down below called Louis Rossman Random Live. I upload just any random crap that I'm thinking about that day, much more than this channel. And I'm probably going to use that channel to just kind of discuss some of the, the intraday things that are going on as they go on, if they're things that I'm able to discuss publicly. Anyway, that's it for today. See you on the next video, and thanks for watching.